successful in business is because of this: the game. See, you can be the most talented YouTuber, photographer, videographer, graphic designer, coach, author, you name it. You can be the most talented basketball player in your neighborhood. But in order for you to join the big boys, the NBA, you need to understand how the game is played. See, in order for you to understand or learn the rules of the game, you need somebody that has played there before. Somebody that have learned and mastered the rules of the game to teach you that. And once you learn that, you will be able to be drafted. And here's what happens. After you're drafted, you will get a coach that's gonna keep your amazing talent in check. See, you cannot just get on the field and do whatever you wanna do. Here's the sad reality. Talent alone is not enough for you to be successful in business. Having all the amazing equipment that you need to get the job done is still not enough for you to be successful. Now, when I say successful, I mean being able to consistently land premium clients. That's why I decided to create Content Creators University. Who am I? My name is JP Hightek. I am a global branding expert. I am also the founder and CEO of a media agency called Perfect Zone Productions. As a matter of fact, you are in one of my studios right now.
Hey, it's Tanya Smith here of Get Noticed with Video and Stream Like a Boss TV.
Hey everybody, my name is Michelle Singh. I'm from Miami, Florida, and I have an educational consulting firm.
Hey you guys, James Hicks here from Hicks New Media.
JP has an incredible presence. You know, when I go and I look people up and try to find out more about them, everything was stellar. Anything that you could find about JP showed that he was an upstanding gentleman, that he delivered amazing and beautiful visual presence, that he tells the truth and he is authentic and genuine. And all of those things made me say, yes, absolutely.
I just worked with JP Hightek from Perfect Zone Productions, and we spent the entire day together doing photos and video shoots for my rebranding of my company. And when I tell you the entire experience was amazing, it was amazing.
Right, I had the privilege of working with JP on some brand and media assets that I wanted worked on within my studio, and everything from the initial conversation to the planning discussions to the constructive feedback and criticism that I was given from him was absolutely spot on.
I was all on it because I believed in him and I could see what he was capable of doing through the lens of others who have been on the internet that have been impacted by him and his truth. So I actually became a client of JP because he gave me truth. He said, you know what, I like your live stream. I enjoy the content. But the presence, what you're putting out there in terms of the professionalism of your live stream needs to match the level of the excellence of content that you're delivering. And when he said this, I paused for a minute and I thought, he's so right. So what did I do? I asked, can you help me? Can you and your team help me? And JP and his team created the most beautiful graphics. They were perfectly branded for me, for what I wanted to do with Stream Like a Boss. I find myself using them consistently and regularly in almost every live stream show that I do, and I often get compliments and people DMing and asking, who did your graphics? Who put that together?
This is me before JP.
And this is me after JP. Do I look awesome or what? I finally have correct colors. I'm human. Yes, I am human. I have the correct colors in the background, my regular purples that I can see with them. You know, I can see the purples. I can see the purples. So I'm really happy, JP, for you putting this together for me, this custom LUT. It took about 48 hours and it was really amazing customer service. So go ahead and get yours. This is Dr. Elo out.
And I thank him, I thank his team for what they've provided me. I definitely look forward to working more and closely with them in the future as my needs evolve. So I really just wanted to tell folks, if you're looking for someone to help you design, build either
Hey family, guess what? The Content Creators University is a show that airs every single week, but I want to connect with you. I want you to go ahead and download my mobile application. If you have an iPhone, go ahead and download my app called JP Hightek TV right now onto your phone. If you have a TV, a smart TV, my app is also available on your Roku TV, right? Go ahead and download JP Hightek TV on your Roku TV or your Amazon Fire TV right now, and let's connect together, right? I want you to grow with me. I want us to grow together. If you love podcasts, I'm also happy to tell you that the Content Creators University is available syndicated across every podcast platform. Apple Podcasts, Audible, Google Podcasts, you name it, we are there. Spotify and all of that. Go ahead and download it, listen to it, and do me a favor. If you appreciate what we're doing, go ahead and put it in the comment section. Leave me a review on any of those podcast platform or mobile application platform. Let me know if any of the hard work that we're putting into this community, this broadcast, this podcast is helping you. If you appreciate all the amazing guests that we're bringing onto the platform to share their expertise with you. This is a lot of work, family, and I'm doing all this in order for you to be able to grow your business the right way, leverage your content creation. Thanks so much, and if you appreciate what we do, go ahead as well subscribe to the YouTube channel JP Hightek Reviews. Follow me personally if you want to, connect with me on all social media, and the handle is @JP Hightek. I love connecting. Like I always say, network is the new currency. So I want to see you online. I want to connect with you, and I want to hear from you. Let's grow together. Be safe, like I always say. See you next time. Shalom. Peace. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Content Creators University. I'm so excited that we've decided to come back here. You guys know what we do every single week, right? We connect here and we bring you one of the best, and we call them professors, right? And so we have another professor backstage today, and I'm telling you guys, it's about to be fun because what we're talking about is how to market yourself the right way. And especially in a world where we have so many technology, right, solutions and ways that you will think is the best way to market yourself. Well, guess what? We want to hear from an expert. We want to learn from an expert. And that's the best way. That's the shortcut to really level up in everything that we're doing. And that's what we do here. If you're new, well, allow me to introduce myself. My name is JP Hightek. I'm a global branding and media expert. And we've been doing this for a minute, family. So we work with individual small businesses and entrepreneurs, really build a premium brand. And we leverage a couple of things, which is web, graphic, social, media, technology, content creation. And of course, I'm the CEO of a company called Perfect Zone Productions, located here in the state of Tennessee in the United States. And what we do is really work with you so that you can dominate your competition and you can level up very, 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 very fast. And so if you're interested in that, well, let's connect. Now, the first thing that we do if you're new here is we first talk about the news, what's new in the Content Creators University. And right after that, then we, bring our guests onto the stage, understanding that, we have some sponsors on our show and we have to give them some shout out. So that's what we do. So if you don't mind, we'll go ahead and take care of that. And right after that, we'll, come onto the stage and have this conversation. So stay with me. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this. Let's go.
This is Todd's mom.
Hi.
In a moment, Todd's mom will read her son's internet browsing history.
What?
Aloud, please.
No.
Supermodels on trampolines.com. Why don't girls like me? How to overcome an overbearing mother.
Okay, cut.
If you wouldn't want mom looking through your web history, why would you let hackers, ad companies, or your internet and cellular provider do the same thing?
Why does my junk burn?
They can track and record everything you do online, but not if you have ExpressVPN.
Why did you buy a $200 ninja outfit?
For fighting.
ExpressVPN apps keep your activity and identity private while you browse, stream, email, or download. Protect all of your devices with just one click.
Are my hands small?
Okay, I'm done. You guys are all terrible people.
ExpressVPN. Take back your privacy today.
Ooh.
Welcome back, and you heard that was ExpressVPN. Shout out to ExpressVPN. They've been sponsoring our show since Season 1. And if you don't know, VPN is a virtual private network, and we need to use that to protect our assets, right? If you spend any time online, if you do anything on the web, right, I want to tell you that it is crucial that you protect your asset. The last thing you want is to, have your private information or what you work so hard for lost or exposed to the web or potentially being hacked. And so what you want to do is get an ExpressVPN today by going to expressvpn.com. Now, for the folks that are like, yo, JP, this is amazing, but I didn't know something. Well, let me tell you, I didn't know, JP, that, I could connect with you in your community. Yes, you heard that correctly. We have our own private community. It's called Content Creators University. All you have to do is go to the website, contentcreatorsuniversity.com today, create a free account, and let's grow together, right? You have several hundreds of leaders, right? Content creators, people that are CFOs, CMOs, CEOs of their companies, people that are moving the needle, right? People that really understand what it takes to grow their businesses, or folks that are serious about leveraging technology and content creation to grow their business are there. I'm there myself. Let's grow together. Let's connect together, and let's really make an impact in this world together. And that's what this is all about. So if you're excited about this, I want to see you there. Again, the website is contentcreatorsuniversity.com. Finally, before we talk about our guest family, for the folks that are like, JP, I really appreciate the things that you do, and I want to see how we can work together. All you want to do is go to my website, jphightek.com. jphightek.com is a website. And if you want to book me to speak at your event, well, I would love to see if we're a good fit for each other. The website is jphightek.com/speaking. Let's go there and let's see how we can work together. Our guest today, her name is Fab Giovanetti. Ha, I love it, right? I've been practicing the best way to say it, and I can see my guest backstage excited that I said it right. Fab Giovanetti. She's the CEO of Alt Marketing School. Instead of me reading her bio, I'm going to bring her onto the stage here and have her introduce herself the best way that she can do, because she can do a better job than me, right? But folks, get ready, because we're talking about how to market yourself the right way. How to really position your brand so you can get that return on investment that you're looking for. Because today there's so many solutions and people feel overwhelmed. They're wondering, what is really the best way to put my company out, put myself out, right? And so that I can land the contracts, the partnerships, right? The events, the speaking gigs, you name it, that I seek. Or how can those people that are part of my target audience can find me? Well, we're about to talk about all that today. She's been in this industry for 15 plus years. And family, she knows what she's talking about. I had the opportunity to share the stage with her at Creator Day that just took place this year. And that's how we connected and talked about networking. As you can see, we're part of the same private room, which is why we ended up connecting and being here today. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get ready. Grab your popcorn, grab your notebooks, because we're diving deep. Right after this short intro, is about to be good. Let's go, family. Stay with me. What is going on, Fab? Welcome to the show. How are you today?
I am feeling very special today. I got a really fancy introduction. I got a little 5-minute warm up with the introduction and the sponsors. I was like, all right, okay. Here she comes. So yeah, thank you. I'm already loving this. Yay.
All right. Love it. Love it. Love it. I am very honored. I want to first thank you for agreeing to connect with us here on the Content Creators University and taking the time. For the folks that do not know, you are in a different state on the other side of the continent. I want you to tell them.
Well, hello, my name is Fab, like the ice cream. If you are based in the UK, you'll know what I'm talking about. I am based in the United Kingdom. However, I might start moving my hands and myself to really embody the stereotypical Italian in me, because I am indeed Italian. Italian, exported in the UK, marketer of 15 years, as JP said earlier. And I'm the founder and head teacher at Alt Marketing School, a school that teaches people how to market to hearts. I've been teaching now for almost 10 years in schools, colleges, online, off stage, on stage. And also, just like JP, I am a writer of 2 books, Loving Marketing, System, Coffee, and Ben T-shirts. I'm obsessed with Ben T-shirts, and I think you should know that too.
I love it. I love it. So thank you. Thank you so much. That is amazing. I really appreciate you taking the time to introduce yourself here for the folks so that they can discover how amazing you are. Of course, I know that you're amazing because we shared the stage recently, and that is pretty cool stuff. Now, of course, I want to ask you, Fab, if you were a superhero, who would that superhero be and why?
Black Widow, because Scarlett Johansson, duh. So yeah, I'm a huge fan. So when it comes to movies, that's my first point of call. Whereas my brother, who's 14 years older than me, had the comics. So it was of that generation, whereas I'm more of the movie generation. First of all, again, as I said, Scarlett Johansson. Secondly, she's one of the first MCU movie universe kind of superheroes that comes out. And thirdly, which is kind of random, but it's a bit of a connection, I guess. She also is Russian of origin, and I studied Russian at university, so I kind of like the little kind of callback. But I just love the fact that she was a bit like Hawkeye. They were the most human, quote unquote, superheroes, but they were really good at what they did because of practice, and definitely not the best upgrading you could say. But yeah, I think I really love to see her progression throughout the cinematic universe. So I hope I didn't lose anybody who's not an MCU fan, but if you are, you know what I'm talking about.
We know. The folks that follow us here on the Content Creators University love superheroes. And yeah, I mean, you are the first person to ever mention, Black Widow, and which is amazing, right? Like nobody ever mentioned Black Widow. And we're on season 5 of this podcast. We've had it all, right? We had Wonder Woman, we have Superman, Spider-Man, you name it, but never Black Widow. And I love Black Widow myself as well. So that is amazing. Thank you so much. That is pretty cool. Now I got another question for you, somewhat a little serious, but that allows us to know a little more about you. And that is, let's say you had the power to go back in time and you can, meet yourself. Let's say you can meet yourself, your 18-year-old self today, right? And you had one major piece of advice to give her. What will that be and why?
Excellent question. I'm going to give you the serious answer, and then I'm going to add on top of it kind of back to the future reflection to it, because that's where my brain goes. Again, I'm a huge movie person. Serious answer is I will go back to her and I would say to her, you are enough and you're worthy of everything that you want to achieve. You don't have to earn it. You're worthy. You're already worthy. You're already enough. That's what I would say to her. And if anybody else needed to hear it today, you're enough too. Right now, as you are, you're worthy. The less serious note, just to kind of bring it back, is that I don't know if I would want to tell her that, because yeah, she was going through a tough time for a very long time. But then it got her to be where I am right now. And so making the decisions that I made, and I know this is fictional, but the back to the future brain comes in and is like, but if I tell her, then I'm going to change the future. So part of me is like, maybe I shouldn't tell her, because otherwise she wouldn't get to do all the learnings that I got through in able to be able to then share with others this little nugget of wisdom.
Wow. You are worthy. You are enough. I hope you guys are taking note, because indeed this is powerful. Indeed, we are worthy. We are enough. And, a lot of times we wish we had known that. We wish we had believed in ourselves, right? And believed that we really are enough. We have a lot to offer, right? And this is so deep at so many levels. I want to thank you for saying that and reminding folks that, yes, indeed, they are seen, even though they may not feel it. that they're seeing. And that goes hand in hand in what we're talking about today, which has to do with our visibility, marketing, right? To be seen. And so we're talking, how to really market ourselves today the right way. And before we dive into that, right, in your expertise, you've been doing this for 15 years, right? You've seen it all. You've seen the genesis of the new tools that we have today, artificial intelligence. You've seen the genesis of new social media platforms, the change from Twitter to X. I mean, you've seen so much today, right? And you're still in the same industry. So let me ask you one first question. In your expertise, what does marketing truly mean?
Oh, JP, this is a great question because I recorded another episode with somebody else. You're getting it. Our people need to hear it. It's becoming a staple. It's one of my quotables. I said on our own podcast, with a podcast as well. So I was talking to my co-host, and then it keep coming back this week, which is great marketing is about direction, not about persuasion. Shall I elaborate?
Yes, please.
Okay, so great marketing, when you think about it, it's, in my opinion, uses psychology, which is what we teach at the school, for good. So it uses the fact that actually we make decisions based on emotion as well as the rational and logical side of things, but in a good way, because superheroes with great power comes with great responsibility, right? So when we look at things this way, we look at marketing as a relationship we're building with our audience, regardless of what the outcome of their relationship is. We need to understand that more than ever, thankfully, that our audience, our customers, whoever this audience is going to become for you, we're savvy up. We understand what's going on. We are much smarter and more attuned to what really the online world is about. And because of that, there is this the ick that a lot of people have when they come to us to learn about marketing is that, but what if marketing feels icky? And I wanted to demystify that. That's one of our missions. And when you reframe marketing, and instead of looking at it as you have to persuade people to get something they don't need, but you actually direct the right people to come to you, and you actually direct the people that are not the right fit to you somewhere else, you have, and I know this goes against the law of numbers, but you have super fans instead of just casual lukewarm customers. You have advocates. You have returning customers, which in the marketing world is pretty much like the gold standard. You have better experiences, better satisfaction, and overall you are growing in a way that is a lot more sustainable. So to me, that's my personal opinion, obviously, but great marketing is about direction, not persuasion.
Oh my God. Family, I hope you guys are hearing this. Persuasion. Yes, that is so true, right? Like, it is so apparently hard today when it should be easier, right? But you have people that are overwhelmed, that are not sure which direction to go, that do not know what the best tool is for them, or even if they should use it, or what the best strategy is, because you have so much information on the web. So take us to a journey. For somebody that comes to you and like, I really need help positioning my brand, positioning my company. I need help with this marketing thing. What are the first 3 to 5 things that you tell them to absolutely make sure that they get clarity on and that they do well?
We always start with actually understanding 2 things: who you are, and I know they might be like, Fab, I already know who I am, thank you very much, but bear with me. And obviously the second one, and these kind of then become 3 to 4 to 5 steps, so we're going to focus on those 2 because we can unpack them, is who your audience is. As I said, if marketing is really about direction and not persuasion, not bringing the wrong people your way, but getting more of the right people, then there is a combination of 2 things. Understanding who you are means understanding 2 things. First, your story, because your story is unique. And hopefully if you create content or you want to create content, starting with your story can be a magical experience. And I'm not just saying this, our students, I see it all the time when we do this exercise. Because your story that allows you to really understand the journey of transformation that you went through, especially if you are a small business owner in a service space, which is the people that historically I supported, especially at the beginning of working for myself 10 years ago. And And so that journey of transformation is one that can help you then understand who are your ideal clients or customers or users in that journey, right? How can you relate to them right now, and what they're looking for instead that maybe they don't have yet. On top of that, though, when it comes to understanding about yourself, and then I'll pause before we talk about the audience in case there's anything that you want to point out. The other thing here is also understanding how you like to operate. And once again, I talk about this a lot, even on our podcast. I talked about it literally a couple of episodes ago. It's important that if you are the main stakeholder, which means if you are the person that makes the decisions and you're already overwhelmed and you already have a lot of things to do, right? Create content that you love. And I know it sounds silly, but bear with me. I mean, maybe JP is putting on a show, but I don't believe it is. But I can see that you're having fun creating this type of content. You love being on stage, even if it's a virtual stage. You love doing the show. The more we find avenues of content that are fun for us to create, the more we want to show up. If you feel overwhelmed a lot of the time, it's because you feel you have to create carousels where you absolutely hate going on Canva and creating graphics. So it's finding that middle ground between understanding the trends and opening up to them, but building also a practice that makes you want to show up. This is the you piece. I don't know if there's any comments or notes within that before I move to the audience.
My goodness, family. Yes, I love that you pointed that out the way you did, because a lot of times we know about who you are, right? Like, of course, you hear that a lot. Who you are you, define who you are, determine who you are, have a clarity on that, and then who your target audience is. But I love that you pointed out, how would you like to operate? And that is crucial, because when we're talking about marketing, we're talking about content creation. You will have to create a lot of content. Now, I love that you pointed out that, of course, we have to make sure we're in a world or in a sphere of content that we like. You're doing something that you like, because if you don't, then of course you're dealing with burnout. You're dealing with, being bored. You're dealing with things like being overwhelmed and being tired of doing the same things. You're dealing with not understanding how long you have to be doing it in order to see a result. And you're dealing with, really personal stuff like throwing out the towel because maybe you have some challenges, adversity, because personal story, when I started this whole thing, right? When, a very, very long time ago on YouTube and all of that, I've had people attack me, right? You always have those people that will come in the comment section that will say negative things. How will that affect you, right? It's not if, it's when. When adversity comes, how do you deal with it? How will that affect you? And I love that you pointed that out. And that is very, very important that we remember, am I truly in a place that I love? Continue.
Thank you very much. And again, little cheer, little happy dance, because I think it's so important, once again, to remember that these little things will then inspire you as well when the adversity comes. A little aside, one of my favorite things that I stole from somebody else, but I have myself, to have is like a little folder with little kudos and little screenshots of it. Is even less for just social proof that we know it's important to put on your website or in your content. Is even sometimes just for yourself, the little notes that people make to remind you of the impact that you had on them. That's very precious. So just in case, there's two things to remember that we are not hearing enough. First of all, when it comes to buyer personas and the buyer psychology side of things, which means why people buy. So we're even going beyond the just creating the content, but people don't buy because of who they are, but they buy because of who they want to become. That's the traditional way to say it. I find that the truth can be in the middle, but I think when you think about that, the way that you know your audience can shift. This is the first shift. It's not just about who your people are, it's about who they want to become. Second shift is also about the service or product, or even the show. Let's say even you just want to launch a podcast. What is the job that your product or service or channel is doing for your audience? This is called Jobs to Be Done framework. It's very, very well known in marketing. And it's less about what do you do, and it's more about what is the job that this product does for you. And I think with this kind of shift, I don't know if you experienced that, JP, or if you heard about it before, but it really, I think, helps you reframing how you talk about things, not just about yourself, but also talk to your audience, relate to your audience, and talk about your products or anything you want to direct your audience to, right? Because that's still taking action.
Wow. You know, family, I hope you guys are taking note, because this is a master class that Fab is giving all of us here. And Fab, you're going deep. And I love that you're going deep. Like I said, you're our professor. Before I address that, shout out to the folks that are joining us in the comment section, folks. Thank you guys for being here. Let us know where you're joining us from. Put a comment there. Share with us the one thing that you're getting, how you're loving what we're discussing today. We'll love to see your feedback there. And exactly, tell us where you're joining us from. Are you on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram? You let us know, where are you joining us from. We'll love to know and give you a shout out. So Fab, that is very, very powerful what you're saying, right? Because a lot of times we find ourselves in a place where there's two things. There's the relationship with the public, with the target audience, and then there's the relationship with our own product, right? We being part integral of the product that we're offering, right? You cannot separate yourself from your product. If you do not have a story to tell, people will have a hard time purchasing your product. So that is you being incorporated in the product. So that's one, right? Having clarity on that. And now knowing how to position yourself for people to embrace you. Now today, people will tell you, of course, that, well, there are several ways to approach it. And some people will tell you, well, you just need to make sure you post every day. Because we hear that a lot, and we got to talk about it. Make sure you post on social media every single day. Make noise on other platforms, and that will help people discover you. What do you think, honestly, about this? Or how do you truly feel about it? Let us know.
Oh, that's how I feel about it. Oh, it's juicy. JP don't play. JP don't play, everybody. I feel interesting. Spicy is the word that I'm using. Why? Why is it spicy? Because recipe for burnout, yay, first and foremost. Recipe for overwhelm, 2. 3, the world can create a hell of a lot of content. Let's be honest, we have artificial intelligence tools. I kind of lost the word there for a second. We have those tools that can help you churn out content like never before. How people discover you is by looking for a solution to a problem. And sometimes the solution to the problem is finding videos that can actually can be relatable to you so that you can zone out in the evening. I know it's not the best solution to the problem, but sometimes that's what people need. So to me, if you create a lot of content and doesn't have a clear intent, that's what we call it, content with user intent, and that doesn't have real value, and I want to explain this before we jump on. Obviously, you are going to create a lot of content on a lot of platforms, but you're not going to see the results because you're not going to talk to your people. You're not going to tell them what they want to hear, and you're not going to express to them that you understand the problems that they need to be solving, the issues that they're trying to assess, and that you see them the way that you see them. And I think this is really important to understand, because there's a lot of misconception about value, that value always means you have to give more, like you have to educate your audience, you have to inspire them, and that's great. But I see great people providing simple value, but just that little entertainment piece that really speaks to my audience. So I always go back to, what is my audience actually thinking? What are they thinking around the way that my product or myself wants to help them? How can I create less content on fewer platforms? That one, as we said earlier, I enjoy. 2, I speak to some of the problems and the core things that my audience's experiences in order to become who they want to become. Remember, people don't buy who they are, but who they want to become. And thirdly, each piece of content needs to give a little something to my audience, whether it's making them smile, whether it's making them saying, oh yeah, this resonates with me. And this is where I call it intent content that inspires action. And finishing off here, it doesn't have to be always call to action, go and listen to the podcast, or go and call to action, go and, join my email list. Think about very granular actions, small actions. Is content that people want to share or save or comment on by sharing their own experience. Not all of it will have the action, but is at least giving people the intent to do that. And yes, choose one. And if you do one well, if you create really highly shareable content, then you already have a clear reason for creating that piece of content. Let me know if I'm making sense, because sometimes I know that I speak very specifically and I need to go back maybe when it comes to the marketing hat and reframe things.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's making sense to me because we're talking about making sure that, that one content is actually creating an emotion in our target audience, quality over quantity in different words, right? Because you can have, you can use AI, like you said, right? And create tons of content. But the fact that you have a lot of content that you're publishing every day, if I'm paraphrasing, doesn't mean that you have quality. It doesn't even mean that it's resonating with your target audience. And does not even mean that it's embracing a specific strategy. All you're doing is dumping a lot of content on social media. So obviously, if, there's no quality check, well, you'll be doing all that effort for no reason, and you will not be getting that return. Well, at the same time, though, Fab, you will have the skepticals. I will tell you, well, hey, they say that all you have to do is make noise, and sometimes, as long as you make noise, people will notice you. It's better to be noticed than not. And out of all the traffic you get, you will end up, finding the right people, right? I've heard that, and I have my personal opinion about it, but you are the teacher today. How do you feel about mass content creation and marketing without a clear defined strategy in hopes to bring in a lot of traffic? And then whenever the traffic comes in, then you can kind of filter through and connect with the right people. How do you feel about that approach?
First of all, you're not escaping from telling us your opinion afterwards. I just want to say, I love that I'm the teacher today, but I still want to know it. Just saying. And I'm pretty sure everybody else today wants to hear it too. My personal opinion is, first of all, and this is the first diplomatic approach, which is going to potentially get a lot of people eye rolling, to each their own. And I mean that in the way that I have seen, and I teach my students and the people that I want to help. I've seen results by targeting my approach, that I'm speaking to the right people and building retention, which means people coming back again and again, and advocates, instead of flushing lots of traffic and having lots of data, because that's the other thing we need to think about. Lots of data and lots of contacts that are never going to lead to any sale. And my friend Jess Bruno as well, who's often on the podcast, we talk about the same. Rather have 5,000 people that are constantly giving me feedback, helping me making my content better, really going on the right pages on the website so that I know what they're looking for, than having 50,000 people that are never going to buy from me, and all the data, all the analytics, all the content that they're going to consume is going to just confuse me, because they're not my people anyway. So I don't know exactly what they want. And actually what they want is not going to give me anything to go by. See, marketing is as much about creativity as it is about analytics and a bit of science. And I never thought I was a very analytical person, but then give me a spreadsheet and I go in heaven. So apparently there's something there with me. I don't know what it is. But I know that I know it's very sexy and cool. I know. I promise I am cool. But that's the truth for me. And then there's another layer. There's another layer here, which is even more personal to me. We do marketing to hearts. It will be hypocritical to me, or for me, as I'm teaching value-driven and purpose-driven marketing, to then have a very catch-all approach to my marketing. I want to make a positive impact in the world and in the people that I'm helping. And so I'm very specific about the people that have the same values as me. So that is where, obviously, when you're looking at a very matter-of-fact, skeptical point of view, is like, well, that's your personal choice. But then the final piece of the puzzle, which is very eye-opening to me, I learned it from one of our teachers actually in the last month or so. Even the impact we're having on the planet can even be quantified by our choices that we do online. For example, the amount of data that is stored on our email list, which is called subscribers that will never open your emails. Instead of keeping these people, they're not doing anything. Purge it, send them on their loving way. So actually, having the right people is better for us, is better for our results, is better for longevity of our business, and is better even for the planet. Guess what? Look at that. Anyway, this is my threefold opinion. And I know that some of it is more rational, some of it is more intentional with my values. And I really appreciate that. What do you think?
Well. Look at that. I understand now. I understand why we connected so easily. Because I mean, honestly, from a branding standpoint, that's what I do. I'm a branding expert. I preach this all the time, right? It's not just about bringing in traffic. It's about bringing in quality traffic. I always say this all the time for the folks that listen to my podcast. We're not trying to build a business, or we're not trying to post on social media or create content that's going to get us a lot of likes and comments. Those do not pay the bills. I said this all the time, right? Likes and comments do not pay the bills. We're talking about true conversion, taking action with my brand. So I'm not just trying to entertain people. I'm trying to convert people, and I'm trying to make money and grow my business. And that, you have to think about the data. And I love that you brought that up, because that's why I was holding up to try to see what you will be saying in regards to that. And you talked about data, which a lot of times, right, people do not think about. They don't think about the fact that you do not want 10,000 people in your email base that have nothing to do with your target audience and that will almost never open your emails. I'd rather have 1,000 people that will open my email every single time I email versus 10,000 people that will never open them. That's a huge difference, right? Clear that, remove those people. And the only way that can happen is if you yourself are sending a clear message for folks to know who you are looking to do business with. And that's my honest opinion in regards to this. And I love that we have a bridge there, and then we connected on the way we see things. That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, I can't believe, right, we're almost out of time here, but I do have one last question before we ask you, how can we connect with you and learn from you and all of that, is how to market yourself the right way. Let's say somebody's new to this whole thing, very new, not technical at all, does not really understand all of this, but they're just looking for some actionable steps that will, give them results. What advice could you give that person? How can they get started to really see a true traffic or true impact or true return on their investment? What advice can you give them?
Please don't tune off as soon as I'm going to say this. Let me explain, everybody. Ready? Build processes and systems. I told you not to run away. Don't you dare. Stay with me. It's the least sexy thing you can hear, but it is the one of the two most life-changing, honestly, it's one of my students said life-changing experiences they got through with our certification. I sprinkle all the things that I talked to you about already. Plus, I talk a lot about systems and processes. We really hammer it home at the school. Mm-hmm. And they make a hell of a difference, because when you think system and process it can feel very overwhelming. Mm-hmm. My top tip with something like this, to start very practical, is experiment with creating piece of content. Let's say you want to try and create a piece of content for a week, whether it's 2, 3. I would say always start small. I always say start with 2, and then you can always add. If after 3 months you can create and post and schedule whatever 2 pieces of content, then you can add a 3rd one. But let's say try and do that for the week, and loom yourself. So go through this video with your loom on and walk yourself through what you are doing. Now, this is a use of AI that I love, because I do it. I can happily say I do it. I then get the transcript from Loom, because Loom is not that good these days, which is a platform that helps you recording your video or your screen as you're doing things with a microphone on. Get the transcript, put it in any AI like ChatGPT, and I ask it to create something called the SOP, a standard operating procedure, for me. What it does is breaks down based on me talking through what I'm doing, everything I am doing. So record yourself talking like a bit of a crazy person, I know, but talk at yourself about what you are doing like you were instructing somebody else. And before looking at the big things, look at what your current process is. And then again, ChatGPT or these tools can help you actually breaking it down. And then look at it. What are all the things that you are doing when it comes to that simple thing of creating content? What is your current process? And then either talk to a friend, to a peer, or to a coach, or to a teacher like myself or JP. Find somebody where you can actually get some feedback and potentially improve that process. Because if you're already creating content you love or trying to create content you love, if you're already starting to work on your story, if you're already starting to think about your audience in a way that is helping them with who they want to become, some of the foundations are getting there, and then the content can start shaping up. But the biggest culprit that I hear all the time from our students is that they feel overwhelmed, they feel burnt out because they don't find the time or they struggle to keep up with their schedule. So you gotta also build the systems. And even if it is understanding what are the steps that you need to take and how can you break them down, is a lot harder to imagine it. Record yourself doing it. That would be my tip.
Yo, listen, family. I'm gonna put it a different way. The way she put it, I'm gonna paraphrase a different way. These are the things that will allow us to be sustainable in the long run. That's what's gonna separate us from somebody that starts it and stops after 3 months, 4, 5, 6, a year, versus somebody that's been doing it for 15 years, like her or like me, right? What's the difference? Well, the difference is the foundational stuff that we've established, right? You cannot build a house without a proper foundation. That house will crumble. And so it is not the most exciting things, like Fab said, but we really have to take the time to work on those things to build the foundation of our house so that whenever we pull walls, roof, painting, everything is shiny, everything's looking good, we're enjoying that. And whenever adversity comes, because the weather, you're going to have, harsh weather. Sometimes you'll be like, oh my God, is it a tornado? What is it? If your house is not properly solidified, the wind will take it away. And so all these things is to allow your house to stay in place whenever others that didn't have a proper foundation are losing theirs, and build that equity, build that and really become, the name brand in that industry, properly establishing yourself. So Fab, thank you so much. We've got to the end of the podcast. This is amazing. I feel I can talk to you for hours. Of course, we can't let you go without you telling the folks, for the folks that are like, yo, I need more help. Maybe you have something that you can help them with. For the folks that just want to network with you and all of that, what are the places and spaces that you spend your time? Please, please, please take a minute. Let us know. We'll love to hear.
First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure, and I absolutely love to chat with you as well. I hope you got one little thing today. Hopefully, we gave you lots of things to think about, but if you can do one thing, we talked about popcorn and notepads, so bring it back. Do that, and then, if you'd like, networking wise, you can come and say hi on Instagram or LinkedIn. On my personal is that huge name that you also see now plastered everywhere, Fab Giovanetti. You can just write that in those places, and you usually find me with my smiley face on. So come and connect. Instagram and LinkedIn are the ones that are most active as myself at the moment, so I would recommend those. Go to altmarketingschool.com to get started with us. And also, I do recommend, if you want to hear more from myself, from my co-host, and also from experts, we have experts as well that come in, classes in session every week on our podcast is podcast.altmarketingschool.com, or just altmarketingschool.com on any podcast platform.
I got to say this. I'm not sure you guys noticed it. If you're listening to the podcast, right, I need you to hop on YouTube, right? Come and check it out. The handle is at JP Hightek, at JP Hightek, and come and watch this. She said something on her website, which I love. I'm gonna, reiterate before I let her go, because I want her to hear me say that. They put right there, we are here to make marketing more human. More human. That is really, the highlight so far of what I've loved on your website. More human, right? And believe that, like, I was in a different meeting and this person said that the AI is the suggester, right? The human is the closer, is the true creator. And that's powerful. All right, Fab, thank you so much. Thank you. Please don't go anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and close, and then I'll be right back with you. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Family, this is it. We've gone to the end of our podcast today. Hopefully, you've appreciated the conversation. If you do, let us know in the comment section below if you like this type of conversations. Please know that we do this every single week, and this is our rendezvous every single Tuesday. We come out here, and we really dive deep into the things that you and I we need to learn to be the best in what we do. All right, subscribe, connect with us, share a comment, and share this with a friend or family member if you truly, truly appreciate the things that we're talking about. My name is JP Hightek, your humble servant, and I'll see you next time for another video, another podcast, another episode. Be safe, like I always say. Shalom. Peace, family.